Oh my word, it's not very nice out there. It is snowing as I'm filming this. Yes, it is. So you better come on in and find yourselves a nice, warm, toasty seat and table. So Barry will take your drinks order. I've just got an Americano because I need to watch the calories. Yeah, diet's not going well. And soup of the day today is minestrone. So something for you meat eaters and you vegetarians. Minestrone, that'll put some hairs on your chest. Nice big bowl of warm soup with some crusty bread and butter. How about that? So how is everybody? I hope everybody is well. Can I just take a moment to thank everybody who has sent cards for Judith. I posted them off yesterday, second class. So Judith, if you happen to be watching, you should get a little bundle of joy. No, I don't mean a little bundle of joy because that's a euphemism for a baby, isn't it? And maybe at your time of life you don't want a baby. You will be getting a little bundle of brightness. Yes, I hope it will brighten your day anyway. And again, Joyce tour, if you happen to be watching, and I know you probably aren't, you've got other things on your mind, we are all sending you virtual hugs as well. I've also sent out everybody who signed up to the Jigsaw art project. I should have called it an art project and not a collaboration really, but if you signed up to the Jigsaw art project, everybody that got a piece in the first Jigsaw, they've all been posted out, as I mentioned in a video that's either gone up yesterday or will be going up on Saturday. They all went out last week, I think again second class. So domestic post, you should all have received those hopefully by now. International, it'll probably take a bit longer, won't it? Second Jigsaw, I need to get some envelopes to put them in. I haven't got anything quite the right size to put them in, so those haven't gone off yet, and there are still a few places left on that second Jigsaw if you are interested. If you've already signed up for the second Jigsaw and you think you know somebody that might be interested, drop me an email. I'll leave my email in the description box. So what can we talk about today? I am still trying to be frugal. Last week was a very spendy week. So I'm still keeping notes in my little book. I am slipping a little bit and not writing in every day. So I find myself looking at my bank statement and playing catch up, which can be a bit tricky because sometimes obviously the purchases go through on a different date from the date you've actually made the purchase, if that makes sense. But last week, so on a Sunday, I do a little kind of roundup for the week. Last week, I didn't get paid for my teaching assistant work because I get paid a week after I've done the work. And obviously, the week before last week was half term and I don't get holiday pay, so I had more money going out than I had coming in, and because it was the beginning of the month, I'd got a lot of expenses, so it was a very expensive very expensive week last week. And yes, I had £3.35 coming into my bank account, less than I had going out. Does that make sense? I think it does. It does to me. But because I've got a little bit of build up in my bank account, obviously I haven't gone overdrawn or incurred any charges or anything. I could have saved last week £30, which would have meant that I would have been okay. And I spent £12.84 last week on crafting, and what I bought was a pair of knitting needles, which were £5.80, and a knitting pattern that was £7.04. The reason it was a funny number is that it was either euros or dollars was the currency price for the pattern. I bought it on Ravelry. Talking of knitting, I am wearing a finished object, which I will talk about in a woolly pod. Might do a woolly pod next week, yes, because I have nearly finished Norman as well. Yes, quite exciting. Yeah, so I could have saved £30 last week. Now this week I should hopefully get some money coming in from my teaching assistant work, but yesterday, Tuesday, because it's Wednesday today, as you know, on Tuesday I had a spendy day. I'll tell you how much I spent in total. I spent £79.85, and I've worked out that I could have saved £26.99, so £27 I could have saved. So £52 was stuff that I did need. I bought some I bought some food from Aldi, and I bought some gesso and pens from the range, and I went to the post office, yes. But here is a little bit of what I bought yesterday that I could have saved money on. I went into Home Sense because I'm looking for an address book. Now, I know that these days people kind of, I suppose, keep a lot of information on their phones, don't they? I'm a bit old-fashioned. I like to write it down in a book. And I've got an address book, but it's really old and there's not a lot of space in it. And I want to have an address book for all my crafty friends, my new crafty friends. And yeah, I just haven't seen one that I like enough to buy yet. They had got one in Home Sense and it was very reasonably priced, but it was very small. And yeah, I want to be able to take, you know, have a bit of room to write all the information. Anyway, Home Sense is the sister shop to TK Maxx. So they have a lot of home goods in there, and they are well known for their candles. And I thought, oh, I'll have a look at the candles. And I saw this on the shelf. It's the first candle I picked up. And I thought, oh, this will come in for crafting. This will come in for crafting, as you do. It's got a really nice, thick wooden lid on it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I took the lid off, and oh, it's called Lemon Tiramisu. And there's a brand of chocolates in the UK, Lily O'Brien, I think they're called, and she does kind of like dessert collection, and there's a lemony one in there. Oh God, I'm craving them now. Oh my God, it smells like that. It is absolutely beautiful. So that was £9.99. It was. And then the other thing I didn't need, but I wanted, my favourite perfume is Jo Malone. I think it's called Honey and Nectarine Blossom, and it's well over £100 a bottle now. Well, that is well out of my budget while I am being frugal. And Marks and Spencer's did kind of like a dupe that I've run out of. Anyway, I saw this yesterday. It was £12.50, which I think's all right for a bit of perfume. Let's have a little spray. This is called Nectar and Passion Fruit. So it's not the same as a Jo Malone, but it's got kind of similar vibes. And I thought for £12.50, it's got notes of mandarin, passion fruit, rose and amber. So yeah, I look really tired today. But I thought also the box, I could make an ATC out of this. So I'll be using that for crafting. There's a star on it. Don't know where that's come from. Yeah, so I'll be using that for crafting because it's a nice pattern. Let's take that sticker off. Yeah, so I wasn't very frugal yesterday, but over the course of the day, I went out for a nice big walk. And although it was cold, it was very bright out. And I did nearly 20,000 steps all in all yesterday, so I was very pleased with that. Anyway, I bet you're really glad you tuned in today, aren't you? So I've talked about soup of the day. Yes, now a video ages ago I said guess how much I spent on crafting supplies in 2022, and I went through and I went through my bank statement last year and everything that I could identify as being craft, so that it might be a little bit more than this, but this is what I've gone for. Okay. Yeah, I have written down everything that I've spent on paper crafting and knitting. I've done it month by month, and I've done it by manufacturer as well, or shop. Yeah, so I said the person that guessed the nearest would win a little prize. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 people guess. These are the people and these are their guesses before I reveal. So, Bobby Joe made this by hand, guessed 2,425. Pipfield guessed 870. Anne Lane guessed 600. Pauline Toy £1,000. Mellis Makes 700. Diane Cross 900. Purple Nana 450. Sophia R 321. Oh, Sophia, how naive you are. Christine Carpenter of Christine's Cards and Things, 1,240. Lorna Callahan, 877. Angie Beaumont, 2,225. Katie Gibson, 1,000. Jenny Ginger Ninja, 800. Julie Pearson, 300. Oh, Julie, way off the mark. Mrs. P's Not So Secret Diary, 3,680. Zoe M, 5,545. Chatty Batty, Anne Bowman, 784. Gunilla Alani, I hope I've pronounced that right, 5,768. And Marge Wyatt, 495. So this is the breakdown. On paper crafting, I spent £2,458.11. And on knitting and yarn related things, I spent £1,091.83. So the grand total is £3,549.94, which means that Mrs. P's Not So Secret Diary is the winner with 3,680. So still about, if you say 3,550, still about £130 out by too much. The next one down was 2,000. Yeah, so Angie, you were the next closest, but miles away. So yeah, Mrs. P's Not So Secret Diary. Can you email me and tell me whether you want a surprise or whether you want crafting related things as your prize? Because I know you're getting back into your crafting, aren't you? So yeah, so that works out at an average of £295.82 a month. Nearly £300 a month. That's a lot, isn't it? Yes, that is a lot. I spent at Dragon's Papercraft alone, some of this will be workshop money. I spent £983.49 at Dragon's Papercraft alone. So nearly £1,000. So nearly a third of my spending in one shop. November was a very spendy month. November I spent have I got November's total? Hold on. £666.27 in November. That was my most expensive. That was just on paper crafting. On yarn, it was 77. My most expensive month for yarn was August, which was £386.15. That will be paying the balance of my yarn advent, and I know I was spendy with elderflower stitches on yarn in that month. But yeah, when you break it down like that, it is absolutely frightening. Absolutely frightening. So I think what I've started to do in this book as well is make a note of the crafting spending. I'm kind of highlighting it in this little book so that I can keep on top of it. Tomorrow, or today when you see this, is paper crafting, and I'll be paying £12 for next month's workshop, and I have run out, or it's dried out, of this texture paste matte, opaque matte. Yeah, there's not a lot in there, probably about a quarter of a tub, but it is quite thick. I don't know whether I'll be able to slacken it off with something, maybe a bit of acrylic, white acrylic paint maybe. If anybody has slackened off, dried up texture paste with something, maybe they could let me know, because that would save me a little bit of money. But yes, what do you think of my crafty spending for last year? It's a shocker, isn't it? It is an absolute shocker. Anyway, on that bombshell, I'm going to drink up my coffee, and I am going to be honest with you. Mr. Paper&Twine has been very nice. Fat Face have got a sale on, and a lot of my clothes are either too big or too small, and they're quite dated. And I feel my age. I feel frumpy. Yeah, and I need some boots. I haven't got any boots. And Fat Face have got a sale on, and they've got some quite nice kind of Chelsea type boots for between 45 and 50 pounds. Anyway, I've said to him I can't justify spending the money, so he says you need clothes, which is really sweet actually, because he never buys himself any clothes. He wears everything until it falls apart and it's got holes in it. And he's transferred me some money so I can go and have a little look in the Fat Face sale. So isn't that kind? So I am going to go in the car and do that now, I think. And I need to get some broccoli for tea tonight. For tea tonight, we're having a chicken pie out the freezer. It's a potato-topped chicken pie made with leftover roast dinner ingredients. So I'm just going to get some broccoli to go with that. It's got peas and carrots and onions in it. So just what we need. And what else do I need to get? Oh yes, envelopes, so I can post out the second jigsaw pieces. That'll be next week now. But yeah, I can package everything up. So that's me done. So I'm going to wrap up warm, and I will be back. Oh, tomorrow it's hashtag PT tag draw. I have already done it and scheduled it, so I know what it is, and I think you'll like it. Yes. So that's me done. I'm looking very smug and self-satisfied, aren't I? I don't know what it is. I'm a bit hyper. I had 16 things on my list yesterday, and I did all of them except one, which I did half of. The one that I didn't do was to think about my jigsaw piece, and I have started that, and you might have seen that already. I don't know, because at the moment it's drying before I move on to the next stage. So it's whether I get it finished today and get it scheduled. I'm talking a load of rubbish. I'm off. Bye now.